Moore. He's a senior research associate at Cambridge University Centre for the Study of Existential Risk. Great to speak to you once again. So finally, the Iaea team is on its way to the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. What are your expectations about the visit and the challenges, possible challenges ahead?
Well, so as was just said, the principal purpose of the visit is to look at the risks and to try and patch up some of the vulnerabilities in the plant, particularly around power backup, because the generators are essential when we have seen so many unplanned breakages in the energy supply to the plant. And just to remind people, this is in order to maintain the cooling system both for the reactor and for the cooling ponds for the spent fuel. This is serious because if there were an extended break in the power, then we would see overheating and potential radiation release, which would have significant impact locally. What we won't see from the Iaea is a clear indication of who is responsible for shelling the plant and to be involved in stopping the shelling, nor will they pass judgment as to who is responsible, partly because the team is not made up of military experts. These are people who are focused on the power systems and the safety of the nuclear power plant, and partly because it's just too hot politically to be pointing the finger of blame at one side or the other, when the truth of it is that it's probably both sides that are responsible.
And the fact that the team that are going are not from, don't include members from the UK or the US, and also that Rafael Grossi himself is leading it, how important is that?
Critical. I think if there were US or UK or indeed other members of countries that are deemed to be very close to one side or the other, it would damage the credibility of the team in the eyes of one side or the other, but particularly the Russians. It's important that this team is seen as neutral, and this is partly because the IAEA itself has been accused over some years of having spies within its team. Now, the credibility of those accusations is mixed, but you know, it's very difficult for the IAEA itself to be clear that members from particular countries are not reporting to their own national authorities. So this is why it's so important for these teams to be seen and actually to be as neutral as they possibly can. Grossi himself is from Argentina, and Argentina, whilst it has had a slightly anti-Russian perspective on this particular conflict, is still seen as more neutral than many states.
And Paul, just, one point on the fact that Russia has said that demilitarizing the area around Zaporizhzhia will not be part of the conversation. That was what Dasha also reiterated to us earlier on the program. Does that change anything?
Well, it doesn't change anything because that will be the position of the Russians. And we do need to be talking to the Russians about how we move in the direction of demilitarization. It's very important that the Russians see the damage and the problems there may be from their occupation of this power plant, and the demilitarization of this and other nuclear power plants is critical. We have to understand nuclear power plants are deeply vulnerable, and I think viewers will know better than they did some weeks ago that it's very important that the international community pays far more attention than it has done up to now to the safety and security of nuclear power plants, both in war zones and outside war zones. These places are more dangerous than some have assumed in the past.
Thank you so much. Really great to speak to you once again. Paul Ingram from Cambridge University Centre for the Study of Existential Risk. Thank you so much.